What's up, everyone? This is Metaphos. I'm here with Sean Bush, who might be better known as Mercenary online. He is an Ultimate Time Wizard champion. And Sean, let's get into it. What deck were you playing?
Yeah, decided to come with, in my opinion, the best deck in the format. It might look a little familiar. I actually invented this. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I've been playing Vayu since I started the format 2.5 years ago. I think that it's made a lot of advancements. I took a lot of, or at least I got to give a lot of credibility or credit to Eric Chen. Zach Faze, used a lot of his ideas. I think that he's done a great job refining it. And yeah, I guess we can kind of get into it.
Heck yeah, let's see it.
So, I mean, obviously, playing the boss monsters, Dad Sork, not a whole lot to say. Sork today and yesterday was kind of, well, today it didn't come up too much in playoffs, but yesterday in Swiss, it just went nuts. Sometimes you don't want to play into sweepers, and this can be, a way to get a Blackwing off the board if they have like a Collude in hand. It clears, subs and dupes, cards that you don't want to deal with. It clears other boss monsters. You can summon it main 2. It was just nuts for me, this tournament.
Oh yeah.
Going with the standard 2 Caius. Not a whole lot to say. Caius is just insane.
Yeah.
Had to play the Gores. I only brought this out I think twice. I was siding it out a lot. It's just so good that you kind of have to play it, especially with, in the mirror or against Gigavies, where you just need protection, right?
Yeah, for sure.
The staples of a Gale. Gale was insane.
Oh, yeah, Gale cooked.
Especially with stuff you're bringing in from the sideboard. Trooper, got to play the Trooper. It's just nuts, right? You can force out Honest, force out the hand traps, run over stuff. Obviously your worst nightmare is seeing a deep prison, but best case is you get a decent mill, you mill a piece off it, and you're feeling great.
Yeah,
right?
All you ask for is 1.
Yeah, and then you send it into a Raikou, and you're like, all right, let's go. 2 basic mills. Necrogardna might be low-key the best card in the deck. I don't know.
Dude.
It makes people play so weird. They see it in the graveyard, and they just think, well, if I just attack, he's going to banish it. So sometimes they won't even attack because they can't really play around it.
Right.
And they don't want the crackback. Right?
Yeah, they don't want to commit to the board.
So this thing has just been insane, and obviously you can just go, right, summon Arma, send Necrogardna with a Caius in hand, and you're romping next to it. Right, obviously the 2 Armas.
Those Armas were good to you in Top Cut.
They were nuts. Yeah, they were nuts. It's a 1400 beater, which is really nice, especially into Blackwing.
Yeah.
They don't want to commit a monster. This can get you, get them down to 66, and then the following turn, if you have a decent enough hand, usually it's pretty easy to put up 66.
Yeah, it's good chip damage.
Yeah. And it forces answers. It gets prisoned a good bit, right? Because they see you send a Necro, and they're like, I got to get this off the field, or maybe it's Caius or Plague or whatever. 2 Grepher main. Makes sense. Also, you'll notice that all the rarities are cheap as hell. We play cheap cardboard.
Yeah,
that's how we
do the same thing.
Yeah. 3 Vayus, standard. 3 Sirocco, standard right now. I know that the James Arc vibe for a little while was the 2 and then the 3 Caius, but with all the Blackwing and Vayu running around, this, it's a powerhouse itself, right? It can come down. Return plays. You can double pump, brain, take another Sirocco, hit for over 10,000 damage. It's just insane. Ran the 2 hamsters. Hamsters are nuts.
Yeah.
Even if they get hit into with a card trooper or something, you feel great, right? Because you're walling off most guys, and then you're getting a Raikou on board. This is fodder. This is 1100 damage sometimes. It's just nuts. Obviously 3 Raikou. It makes the deck possible in reality. Going on to the spells, it's standard stuff, right? You got your charge. The charge and the 2 hamster. I used to think it was, a little redundant, but milling 3 off the charge is huge, and just seeing your dog engine is huge for staving off damage and making sure that you're just picking off back row and you can make your plays with impunity, right?
And just gets the deck going too.
Yeah, exactly. Burial card is absurd.
God card.
It's just so good. It should not be legal. I think it should be banned.
For sure.
Allure, obviously.
Yep.
Rain. Brain is like one of those cards that, I mean, there was a game 3, you know, I was at like, I don't know, 1,500, he's at 1,200, he's got a Gale on board, I have nothing, he basically has me dead to rights. I top deck Brain, attack with Gale for game, and
That's nuts.
that's that.
Yeah, I will say in this deck specifically, Brain's so good because any amount of chip damage,
Yeah.
and then with the Brain behind it, just it sets up lethal so often.
Yeah, I mean, you can use it, you know, for Blake plays with the Gale. You can use it for damage. It's obviously your
Right.
highest. Like, there's tons of scenarios. You can tribute over their guy with
Yep.
Armwing or Sirocco after you hit. Like, it's just nuts. And then obviously the Rhoda, which is just kind of busted too, and a Heavy, which is a staple. Trap lineup is relatively staple, I would say. The 2 Bottomless, All-Star, right? 2 Prisons. Thought about playing 3, and I think that it would have been pretty good given the field I played specifically.
Right.
So I think 3 is fine, 2 is fine, whatever you're comfortable with. If I was gonna, you know, play 3, I'd probably cut a DDV, but DDV was okay. Didn't do a whole lot for me. I think it maybe won 1 or 2 games out of the 11 that I played. The cool thing about DDV though is that if next turn you're going to be bringing out an Armwing or summoning a Sirocco, let's say you Armageddon, send the Vayu, and you got a Sirocco in hand, you kind of preemptively set the DDV. So they run over the Armageddon, and then you can summon Sirocco if they Bottomless or Prison. You just chain. Now your Armwing is online rather than you being, down the river without paddle. Like, it's kind of good in that sense.
Yeah, I feel like the knowledge you get from DDV is almost better than the effect.
Yeah. Even just seeing like your opponent's hand, you know exactly what to play.
Right.
Every turn, and for the next 3 turns, you know every card that they have. It's so good. Obviously, Dust Shoot. Didn't see it a whole lot. When I did, this card literally just wins games. It won 2 games against Quick Draw. It won me my finals.
Yep.
Against Twilight. He had Recharge, Marcus, 4 other cards that don't work with Recharge that are dead. And one of them being Trooper. I had a Prison set, so I'm like, set the Arcus, can't use the Recharge, and Prison the Trooper. That was that. TT, just gotta play it. Mirror Force, I mean, it's insane. And then Return, which is, it's slow, but it's a win button. Like, especially when you go through, let's say you mill off a lot of your big guys and you don't have a whole lot going for you, or your stuff's getting Prison, Bottomless. I mean, you can push Battle Phase with this set, a big board, and if they have a Sweeper or they have Prison or whatever they have, after you see the back row, you can just return, or there are situations where, you can flip a Hamster or a Raikou and target a back row, and then chain Return, and then chain Torrential, clear the board, and then you've got a full suite. So it's insane. It wins games. I don't know that it did a ton for me. These last 2 days and over the 11 matches I played, but I've been on Return since I started playing Vayu. I mean, you just can't take it out.
Yeah, in a general sense, it's just a god card when it resolves.
Just so good. Yeah. Side deck probably going to look a little familiar. 2 Cyber Dragon. The card is a powerhouse. Like, being able to special summon a 2200 beater and still be able to set your guy, or like summon a Gale and go into an 8, like, is massive. There's a lot of times where you'll bring these in even if you're siding in oppression, and it feels really weird. But the key is that you're going to try and get this out before you flip the oppression, or they're going to dust it, and then you have this as a follow-up. But it's just too good not to play, especially with all the Glads running around. It's insane versus Blackwing. It's insane versus any kind of Lightsworn build except for Christia.
It was good for you in the finals.
Yeah, it did some things. It did some things. 2 Crow. I don't like Crow personally. I haven't been playing it for a while, but it just feels like a card that you're kind of obligated to play.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
It's nice to have a hand trap, and be able to play through something like a Heavy or back row removal. Obviously it hits sometimes in Vayu, though I'm not really siding Crow a whole lot versus Vayu. More so for the fringe deck. Sometimes like versus Pot of Avarice, and it's okay versus Giga. You want to have it, right?
Right.
2 Dyna. I was on vanities for a while, but being able to just summon this guy attacking the frogs when they have a troop in the graveyard is usually pretty huge.
Right.
You can set him into, like an L0 and a half-baked board and clear everything. There was actually a misplay I did against frogs. My only loss was round 2 of Swiss, where I had a Dyna and Ryko set, and his board was all special summon frogs. I made the mistake of flipping the Ryko first, and he compulsed the Dyna back without me flipping it, which I should have flipped the Dyna first, but, I mean, card puts in work. It forces your opponent to have an out, and they can't play. So you bring out your guys, and then they can't bring out theirs, right?
Right.
Vortex, great card. I don't even think I saw this once. I sided it in a couple times. Kind of have to play it with all the stuff going around. Mind Control, really good against Machina, any kind of Ryko hamster deck.
Right.
When you Mind Control a T-set Ryko, it's such a momentum swing. Like, being able to mill and clear their board like that, it's hard to come back from that.
Yeah, especially if you hit a piece, it's like good night.
Yeah. Little spicy.
Okay.
I played Cold Wave. I know this has been kind of floating around a little bit. I had some thoughts on when I was going to play it. I didn't side it in a whole lot, to be honest, but I did side it in first round of playoffs, top 8 against GB.
Okay.
And the theory is that you Cold Wave, if you get a big guy or 2 big guys on board, they are not going to be able to do anything. If they chain Wabaku, that kind of sucks, but if they chain anything else, doesn't matter, because if you're cold waving, you're already established and just capitalizing, or you're about to take out their whole board and just go in. So I like it. It's a win more card.
Yeah.
And,
definitely something to test.
It's just cool. Yeah. Solomon aside, paying half sucks, and I didn't miss this in the main at all. I think I sided it in a lot, kind of like, Sackface has talked about. I agree. You don't really want it in versus Blackwing or Vayu, because you're Solomoning stuff that you otherwise might just have an answer for if this was another card. Or you don't have to set it.
Right.
Going down to 4K against some decks is just, you're doomed. You're going to lose the game.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Obviously, when you see a late game and you're really low and you have other back row, it's just insane, because you can set your hand with a big board and they can't heavy, or, you're just going to hit their best answer.
Yeah, crazy top deck, bad opener. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. 2 Oppression. Vayu, in my opinion, is the best deck because it can use Oppression so well.
Yeah, it's insane.
I can special summon all I want, and then when I want to turn off special summoning, good luck, right? I build my board and then Oppression, and then I can still Vayu after. It's nice.
Who's this?
And then 3 Dust Tornado. Just gotta play it. It's obviously really good against Blackwing.
Glads.
Yeah, especially Glads. Sometimes, you can just side out the heavy against something like Lightsworn or decks that are not setting a lot, but you might still want to hit stuff in the end phase, or I don't want to side in something else, so this can replace a heavy or whatever the case is.
Right. Ooh, nice.
Going to the extra deck, this is the standard Vayu extra deck. You have the Arm, you got the Cataster, Brio, Goyo. I don't even think I summoned. I might have summoned Brio once or twice the whole tournament. Goyo, you don't want to play it into a bottomless, but it just takes over games.
Yeah.
Black Rose, this came up, I think, once, literally, and again, it was against the Glads. He goes T-set, I have Cyber Dragon Plague in hand, and I'm thinking, that's a Hopple-miss, and I attack into it with the Cyber Dragon, or it's a Wabaku or something. He's going to pop the Cyber anyway, so I said, all right, screw it. Let me just go into the Black Rose. It was Hopple-miss, and it was a Dust, so I traded, Cyber Dragon and Plague for that, and then it's a little harder for him to come back, especially when I have traps.
Yeah.
Colossal, didn't bring it out once, funny enough.
Yeah, I was about to ask if you ever Colossal Armored at all.
No, I didn't get the opportunity to. Obviously, it's nuts, and Vayu can do that, especially with Return and Burial.
Yeah,
it's not that difficult. Dark End came out a few times, clears problems. Goes forces your opponent to get rid of it because they can't keep setting into it.
Right.
2 Arm Buoy. I don't think 3 came up once, so I don't think there's a whole lot of reason. 2 Armor Master. I was actually bringing him the real Armor Master out a good bit with Gale, and he is so difficult to get off the board if you don't have traps.
Yep.
He just hits over everything with impunity, and if you want to protect your guy and use like Honest or Kalu, it's like, all right, that's fine. And then obviously, a lot of the times I'm bringing him out, I have a Vayu in the grave, so I can just ladder into the Silverwind when you finally get it off the board, and that's a 2800 beater you're now going to deal with. And then obviously the Stardust and the Thought Ruler. Thought Ruler almost helped me climb back game 2 of the finals. I knew he was playing cylinder. Figured, like, given the field of what I expect, the Twilight back row to be, I think it's just a higher probability he has something like a cylinder or something else, and I was low. And being able to gain life points and send something to the graveyard is like, it just put you back in games. And you can't brain Thought Ruler, and that comes up. Like, they will have brain in hand, and if you bring out the Stardust, they can do whatever they want, but I'll just pay my 1,000, and your best card in your deck can't do anything.
Right.
It's nuts. And then the Chimera Tech, a lot of Machina, whatever you want to call it. This thing is nuts. Forces them to play weird. Sometimes you just get a trooper off, and it's not a neg for them per se, but you can just swing in for 2,000 rather than summoning something else, and they get a draw. So this is like mandatory, especially with the field now.
Yeah. In your finals match, I was thinking if you didn't have D Prison, that you would have summoned your Sidra and tagged out with this trooper also.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And it could have come up.
Yep.
Yeah.
So very interesting. Is there any shout outs you want to give or any particular rounds you want to point out?
Yeah. So, I definitely want to send a shout out to Sean Vo, local guy here in Houston. He was my only loss round 2. I literally told him before the match, I mean, you're not the guy that I, want to play right now. And game 1 was, he had frogs, just cooked me, Ryza spin my sets, didn't have a lot of answers. Game 2 made the misplay and ended up, losing. So he's a great duelist, but I got to do a big shout out to Rhino, Edison Format War League. If you're not a part of it, season's ending soon. Jump in the Discard, join. It's great. Great group of guys. Big shout out to Unknown, our GOAT Format War League team. We didn't do so well, but last minute I had a good group of guys, had some fun. Shout out to my family, shout out to my wife, shout out to my boy AJTBLS.
Baller. This guy just got second recently too.
He's a cooker. Yeah, he cooks.
Everyone's cooking.
We travel a lot together. We're like best friends, and it's so funny because it all happened just from like a Discord DM one day.
It's nuts,
hey,
bro.
You want to play Go Format War League, and now we're traveling to events cross country. It's awesome.
Yeah, this fuck got us playing Yu-Gi-Oh again.
And I mean that's. I think I probably missed a bunch of people, but shout out to the the Houston Edison community. We made a Discord for it. If you're seeing this and you live in the area, hit me up or join the Discord. We're really trying to grow it. We have weekly locals that we want to grow, and we're trying to get monthly tournaments and stuff like that going, and really build the local community. And I was really fortunate that this YCS took place in Houston, right where I'm living now. I'm from Florida, but it's nice to just be able to drive 20 minutes and go play a big tournament like this.
Oh yeah.
And generally it feels surreal. I was telling Adam before, it's like a little ridiculous that they do a top 8 for like 256 people. But when you get the result I got, obviously no complaints. So really happy that it worked out. I'm happy with how I played. I think probably didn't play perfectly. Had a little bit of sacks, but that's part of the format. I think I played really tight. Really happy with the result, obviously, and it's sick to be a YCS champion and have this nice big D-Mock. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, big congrats, brother. Very well deserved, and can't wait to see you at future events.
Thanks, brother.